Okay, so this is my introductory video. Unfortunately, I have this drone and I forgot to turn on the sound, so I'm just gonna do a voiceover. I want to make this channel about fitness for men over 50. If you're over 50, you know there's a huge difference between being 20 and 30 and being 50. But when you're 20, you don't realize it. It should be obvious, but apparently it's not. If you're over 50 and following 20-year-old fitness influencers, you're probably not going to get the gains that you should, or when you're in your 20s, that is. When you're in your 20s, you can just look at weights practically and your muscles will grow. Also, when you're in your 20s, you don't have to deal with joint pain and inflammation and all kinds of other issues. So, anyways, let's start by talking about joint pain. I actually have flap tears in both my knees, and in the past, one of my knees got swollen after some jogging. It got some fluid in it. I was able to get it out with the advice of a doctor by using the stationary bike every other day for about an hour. That eventually pumped the fluid out and tightened my knee up. It took about a year, but some of the issues still remained with my knees. I hear it's common when you're 50s to just be walking along and have your knee kind of give out or kind of get weak or feel out of place. And that used to happen to me. But once I gave up processed foods, the inflammation in my body was greatly reduced. I also used to have trouble urinating, the old prostate enlargement. However, and I also used to have arthritis in my elbows, wrists, and neck. I actually had cervical spondylosis. And I thought it was just from, you know, looking at a computer screen all day because I'm a software engineer. After some physical therapy, a lot of the issues went away. However, there was still an overall stiffness. So, anyways, once I gave up processed foods and sugar, a lot of that went away. However, it wasn't until I went full carnivore that I really saw the inflammation completely disappear. I know it's a bit controversial, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So if you've noticed in the video, I'm actually going up the stairs, taking them three at a time, and going down the stairs, I'm taking them two at a time. So obviously, my knee issues are now completely gone, as most people, even in their 20s, cannot do this. I say most people, of course, there's people who can do this. I attribute this partly to the reduction of inflammation in my joints, the reduction of oxalates from vegetables and carbs. But also, another thing that I do is I run sprints. Now, don't laugh. I haven't really warmed up yet. I just did stairs, so my But yeah, just do 8 to 10 30-second sprints and then a 90-second rest in between. Anyways, the sprints seem to strengthen the knees. And if you read up about sprint intensive training, it does boost human growth hormone, testosterone, builds muscle, and it's great cardio, obviously. Much better than jogging. I don't want to trigger joggers, but I mean, okay, exercise, any exercise is great, but you really get massive ROI on sprints. They don't take long. They don't spike your cortisol, and they're just a lot better for you overall. And this isn't just my opinion. You can ask or you can look up any fitness, research on what exercises are best, and sprints are pretty much number one. They're up there with resistance training, squats, etc. Better than even HIIT training, high intensity interval training. So I highly recommend sprinting. I do it once a week. Probably should do it twice a week to give yourself a better boost of hormones. But yeah. Now I also like stairs because they really work out, especially if you take them 3 at a time or 2 at a time. They work your glutes, they work your quads, they work your hamstrings, they work your calves. You build muscle, you get good cardio. I mean, it's just a great exercise. And I recommend actually real stairs and not the machines. But anyways, yeah, what the other thing that's kind of funny I wanted to mention, some of these anti-carnivore people will say, "Oh, you don't know if your arteries are clogged, you can't feel it." A very ridiculous statement considering if you know anybody that's had clogged arteries, which I have, they have a difficult time even walking sometimes. They get out of breath. So now imagine somebody with clogged arteries going up 8 flights of stairs. So this is about 8.5 flights of stairs from top to bottom. Some of you might recognize this place. If you do recognize this place, drop a comment below. Let me know where you think it is. So yeah, again, I apologize for not syncing the audio and obviously having some technical difficulties with my drone. This is my first usage of the drone. I mean, for a first time, it's pretty good. Just like I said, I forgot the audio. And as I mentioned, I'm primarily focusing on, fitness for men over 50. I mean, women over 50 can also get some benefit from this because they also have similar issues with joint pain and, loss of muscle and bone mass, as that affects everybody once they start getting up in age. Of course, unless you counteract it with resistance training. So many people don't know. I mean, most people know resistance training will build muscle. They don't realize maybe that it also builds bone. Bone isn't some static component of your body, it's alive. And when you engage in resistance training or sprints, you're basically stressing the bone, putting microfractures in it, and then it repairs itself just like your muscle, and it actually grows back stronger and more dense and larger. So that will counteract the fact that you're basically shrinking. Um, you can look up the percentages with AI, but you're basically shrinking every year unless you do something about it. So let me know what questions you guys have. Um, there's a lot of issues for men over 50. Like I said, joint pain, urination, hormone imbalance, just so many things. And luckily, I've been able to fix most of my issues. Um, like I said, resistance training, sprints, stairs. I also like to do, some kickboxing. I've got a heavy bag or a dummy in my backyard that I once a week or twice a week I like to work out on. That's also like, if you look it up, kickboxing is, I think it burns like 900 calories an hour, more than running, more than tennis, more than any other exercise. So, yeah, definitely worth looking into. Um, it also builds muscle and, coordination, mobility, obviously. So, just many of the things that 50-year-old men struggle with. Um, like I said, drop some comments. Let me know what subjects you want me to cover next. Um, you know, I also have a special diet. I've at first I eliminated processed foods. Then I went to keto, and then because of the energy issue, I went to full carnivore. And once my body turned over to burning fat, I had just amazing energy. Um, so don't let, there is a transition phase. Obviously, you're going to have some digestive issues for the first week, and you're going to have some, energy issues. Make sure you drink plenty of water, get enough electrolytes, um, get your exercise, and you'll definitely notice a huge difference. One thing I'm almost embarrassed to say, but you know, your bowel movements are so smooth that you don't even require much toilet paper anymore. That's the one thing that it's like my whole life, everything's sticking. And once you go carnivore, it's like not only do you have fewer bowel movements, but they're much, much easier. Anyways, kind of a funny note to end on, but um, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, let me know what you want, and see you in the next video when I get my audio synced up.